So, Larry King. I get an opportunity to interview Larry King. Larry King is Larry King. Larry King's like he's like a basic element. He's a basic media element. It's like he's one of the things that seems to have always existed as he is. He's pure. He's Larry King. I got the opportunity. I figured, okay, I'll do it. Is he coming over? No, he's not. I got to go to his house. Okay, I'll go to his house. It didn't really turn out the way I wanted it to, for reasons that will become clear. I don't think he knew who I was, and that's fine. Look, I'm humble. I get it. A lot of people don't know who I am, but I was going to his house, and there was an issue when I got to his house, and this is what happened at the door. Hello, how are you? How are you, Mr. King?
You're late.
What do you mean?
It's supposed to be 10 o'clock.
I had 10:15.
How long are we going to be? All right, let's go.
Well, I was going to do an hour, but you don't...
Maybe 45 minutes.
All right. Sorry.
Wait.
Whatever you want.
What are you going to do in there?
Okay. If you're not into it, I don't have to do it.
No, I'll do it. Set up. How much take to set up?
5 minutes. So that's what I was dealing with. That was the tone of the situation. Yeah, I wasn't late. I got the information, but like right away I was like, oh man, we can do this another time or not at all if that's what you want. I just want to have a conversation. So that's what I dealt with at the door. And then I was sitting in his living room. I was just sitting there and just waiting for him. I set up. Took me the few minutes that I told him would take him, and I'm just sitting there. And here was, and some of you know, I'll talk to myself if I'm in the car and I got the mic on, or I'm in someone's living room waiting to talk to them. So here's me talking to me apparently while I was waiting for Larry. Fuck. So I'm sitting here in Larry King's house. He thought I was supposed to be here at 10. I came at 10:15 because that's what I had, and he was mad. So I told him it would take me 5 minutes to set up. That was 5 minutes ago, so I don't know what's going to happen here. But I guess we'll see. I'm just waiting. I told him we didn't have to do it. But that's where I'm at right now. I don't know if he's making me wait as punishment, but I don't know that this is if this is going to work out. Because I'm, I can get angry too. Hello, sir. I apologize for the miscommunication.
Marc, right?
It is Marc.
You want me here?
Sure.
Okay.
It's nice to meet you.
Same here.
And I apologize for being late.
It's all right.
It's all right?
Uh-huh.
We're gonna be all right?
Yeah.
So as a guy who interviews people, I'm a guy who interviews people, and I don't have a particular style. But for you, what is it that you're looking for immediately?
Information.
Yeah.
I think the purpose of an interview is to draw the guest out.
Yeah.
Listen to answers. I think listening is as important as what the question you ask. I think you have to be intensely curious. I can't give someone I couldn't teach interviewing.
Sure.
You have to be intensely curious to begin with. I'm insatiably curious. Been that way all my life. When I was a kid, I'd get on a bus and ask the bus driver why he wanted to drive a bus. You don't want to sit next to me on an airplane. I'm asking questions all the time. So basically, my 56 years in the business, they're paying me for what I would be doing anyway.
So you were the kind of kid that, you walk down the street, you'd see a guy just working, or you walk into a diner and you want to know what
why they do, they do. I was a why kind of person. Who, what, where, when, why. I listened to answers. I left my ego at the door. I think if my whole career, if I used the word I 5 times, it would be a lot. I never felt I was important, except as a transmitter. I was a conduit to the audience. Mm-hmm. I try to ask the kind of questions that people I thought would be interested in.
When did you realize that, though? When did you understand that about yourself, that you were going to let your ego get out of the way?
I don't know when it happened. I thought I'd be a sports announcer. I was always an avid sports fan. I wanted to be a broadcaster all my life. I never wanted anything else.
When did you first realize that?
I think when I was 6 years old. I would listen to the radio and imitate radio announcers.
Who was your favorite radio announcer?
Oh, I liked Red Barber doing the Dodgers. Arthur Godfrey was a hero. I got to work with both of them later in life.
And where'd you grow up?
Brooklyn, New York. And I would go around to radio stations. I would go on watch radio shows. I used to pretend I was an announcer.
Yeah.
Honest, I would go into elevators in buildings where there were radio stations, and I would say to the elevator operator, 3rd floor, please. And I just wanted to be an announcer. I had a bunch of odd jobs until about age 22 when a friend recommended I go to Miami. I thought I'd be a sports announcer. I was a disc jockey, newsman, started on a small station.
You grew up
and then one day,
yeah,
I was hired to do a show at a restaurant, Pumpernickel's Restaurant. I did my own disc jockey show, and then I'd go to the restaurant and do an hour show from the restaurant. And one day Bobby Darin walked in, and Mac the Knife was the #1 song in America. I had no idea he would be coming.
Yeah.
And so I couldn't plan for him. And I got to like that. I liked the impromptuness of it. I liked off the top of the head. I liked to start cold. I would like to do interviews where someone walked into the room. I didn't know who they were.
Sure.
And then famous people started to come in. Jimmy Hoffa. Ed Sullivan.
Yeah.
Danny Thomas. A slew of famous people. And then the Miami Herald started to write about it. So I fell into interviewing. I never really thought about my style much. I never said to myself, I'm going to leave my ego at the door. I just felt that I was so curious about what the guest was that the guest counted to me. I wasn't irrelevant, but I'd be there tomorrow.
Sure.
My name was on the show.
Sure.
So the guest counted.
Did you ever get intimidated or frightened at times during interviews where you didn't know if it was going your way or where you felt like you were
The only time I was ever intimidated was the first time I did Frank Sinatra, because I'd been such a fan of his, and Jackie Gleason arranged for the interview, and I was nervous, but I got over that in a minute. Mm-hmm. First time in the White House, a little kind of in awe of the White House. But that goes away because I learned a long time, in fact, I learned my first day on the air, that the person whose show it is in control. Mm-hmm. So whether I'm at the White House, whether it's the president or the mayor or the carpenter,
sure,
or Frank Sinatra, I'm in control. You're in control of this interview, not me.
Right.
So once you know that, you know you're in control, there's nothing to be nervous about.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, because you're in control.
And also, don't you find that when you talk to people that they become people very quickly, despite what you may think of them or their public personality?
Oh, sure. The mic disappears. The camera disappears. I never thought about how am I doing.
Yeah.
I never thought about yesterday's show or tomorrow's show. Today, I go always in the moment.
Yeah.
I felt right in the moment I was doing it. The first day I was on the air, I was very nervous. And nothing was coming out of my mouth. And I can remember it to this day. It was May of 1957, a beautiful morning. And I couldn't think of anything to say. And I thought my whole career was over. Yeah. And the general manager kicked open the door and he said, this is a communications business.
Yeah.
You better communicate. And what I did was, swear to God, I turned on the microphone and said, this is my first day on the air. I've wanted this all my life. I've been sitting here for 3-4 minutes, scared to death.
Yeah.
So I just want to let you know that I'm nervous. So what I did then, this is in retrospect.
Right.
I brought the audience into my dilemma.
Sure.
Okay. Then nothing could go wrong after that, because if I miscued a record, goofed up a commercial, it's my first day.
Right. And they knew it.
So once they know that, what am I going to be nervous about?
Right.
Because I've taken them into my situation.
Right. And that was like the last time you used I. That was it.
Yeah, that was one of the last. And also, I've never, after that, I got to say I was never nervous again. My first day on television, I wasn't nervous. I do a lot of speaking. I do comedy tours.
I saw some comedy, yeah.
I tell funny stories. I like all of it, and I've never gone on a stage frightened because I know from that first day it ain't brain surgery.
Yeah.
If the story's funny, they're going to laugh.
Right.
If they're not going to laugh, it ain't the end of the world.
That's a hard one to learn, though. No? I mean,
I don't know that you learned it. I just
you were able to frame it that way early
I
on.
don't have the confidence in life that I have in broadcasting or on a stage because I think it's a control issue.
Mm-hmm.
I have 2 young boys here, 14 and 13. One just started high school. One's still in junior high school.
Yeah.
I had to get up this morning and take one to work, and one didn't want to have breakfast, and I had to drop them off. And now I don't know what my wife's going to say today. And then I got a lunch to go to, but I can't control that. However,
yeah,
if I were broadcasting today,
right,
I can control that. So the best part of my day is when I'm working. The easiest part of my day is by far when I'm working.
Yeah.
Because I can't control life, but I can control the situations of radio, television, speaking. I'm in control.
Sure. How is it for you now bringing up young kids?
Well, I have 3 grown.
Yeah.
I have a stepson.
Yeah.
And then I have 2 children. I'm the age of a grandfather.
Right.
But I'm a father.
Yeah.
So I go to baseball games. I got to take kids to school. Grandfathers don't do that.
Right.
Someone said the best part about being a grandfather is you get to go home.
Right. You don't get
I don't get to go home.
Is this the most hands-on you've ever been with all your kids?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah, because I have more time with them.
Yeah. Is it rewarding?
I'm not running around making it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a good and bad to it. The great part is to watch them grow and to see they're both very athletes and both kind of bright, very different, night and day, except for being good athletes. There's not one thing they have in common.
That really?
And not one.
Yeah.
And so watching that develop, and then you think of your age, you know, and we go to all the Dodger games, and sitting the other night with my son, and I had a vision that he'd be playing with the Dodgers, and he's 14. And then I was saying to myself, oh, wait a second. Logically, if he went in after high school and he played a couple of years in the minors, maybe he'd come up to the majors when he's 24.
Yeah.
I would be then going to be 90. So my fear was, would I be around?
Right.
And so you had the problem of aging is you want to be around to see him grow up. And
Yeah.
you hope you're going to be around.
Yeah. Was it your choice to have kids at this age?
I didn't think I'd have. I just married a younger woman, and she's much younger than I, and children came.
But it's a gift.
It is a gift, and I watched both born. I didn't watch my other children born. They didn't allow you in.
Well, didn't you have a son that you didn't really meet for a long time?
Yeah. Oh, that was a great story.
Yeah? What happened?
Yeah, well, I was married to this woman for a short period of time, and we broke up. She said she was pregnant. I didn't know if it was mine.
Mm-hmm.
And then years later, I learned I had a child, and he was in his early 30s. And we got to meet, and he's as if I raised him all my life.
Really?
Yeah.
So there was no contention initially?
No, it was amazing. And he met his brother and sister, and he grew up with my name, Larry King Jr. He grew up in Miami. He watched me broadcast Dolphin games.
Before he knew you were his father?
Oh, he knew I was my father, but he had a stepfather.
Right. Why did he wait so long to meet you, do you think?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It just happened. And then his mother was dying, and she called and said, you have a son. You ought to meet him, and he's about to get married. And I went down to Florida. I then was living in Washington. I sent a lawyer down first, and he called me up and he said, you can take a DNA, but you're going to be throwing away money because this is your kid. And I went down. Obviously, it was my kid, and now he's, it's like nothing.
Yeah.
It's like I feel like I raised him.
Yeah.
So it's a great story.
Yeah.
And it's one I don't know if I'm proud of it that did I shirk responsibility? I wasn't sure I even had a kid.
Yeah.
But she said that I had.
But you didn't know.
I knew, not knew.
Right. And does he have kids now?
Oh, yeah. I have 3 grandchildren. He has twins.
That's
good. And then my son has daughters. My daughter's not married.
Uh-huh. How'd you grow up?
My father died when I was 9.5. I grew up with a bunch of friends, 3 of whom are still my best friends. I grew up in Brooklyn, went to Dodger games.